Imagine this for a moment. You walk into a room. You greet everyone confidently in English, and instantly people pay attention. Not because you used fancy words, but because your accent was clear, natural, and easy to understand. No one asked you to repeat yourself, no one gave you a puzzled look, and you didn't feel nervous about being judged. Now picture the difference: the same room, the same words, but this time your accent is so heavy or unclear that people ask, "Sorry, can you say that again?" That single moment can change how you feel about your English, your confidence, and even your opportunities. Which version of you would you rather be? The choice and the transformation starts here. Most English learners dream about speaking fluently, but what they really want deep inside is to sound natural and confident. Fluency without clarity is like owning a powerful car, but never learning how to drive it properly. It's not enough to know grammar, vocabulary, and expressions if the way you pronounce them holds you back. That's why improving your accent isn't just about sounding like a native. It's about being understood easily, building confidence in yourself, and showing the world that your voice matters. Let me be clear right from the start: your accent is not a weakness. Your accent is part of your identity. It tells a story of where you come from, your culture, your background, and your journey. But here's the truth that many learners don't hear often enough. An accent only becomes a problem when it stops communication. If people can't understand you, if they keep asking you to repeat, if you avoid speaking because of embarrassment, that's when accent work becomes essential. So, this isn't about erasing who you are. It's about sharpening your voice so your message comes through with strength and clarity. Now, why is accent improvement such a powerful skill? Think of all the doors that open when you can speak with clarity. Job interviews become smoother because you no longer worry that your answers are lost in mispronunciation. Business meetings become more impactful because your colleagues focus on your ideas, not on struggling to understand your words. Social interactions become more enjoyable because conversations flow naturally without constant interruptions. Your accent isn't just about sound. It's about confidence, opportunities, and connections. And in today's globalized world, clear communication is your passport to success. But here's the problem: many learners focus on the wrong things. They believe if they memorize long vocabulary lists, drill grammar rules, or copy every native expression, they'll automatically sound better. In reality, you could have the biggest vocabulary in the room, but if you pronounce those words in a way that others can't follow, it doesn't matter. Communication breaks down. On the other hand, even if your vocabulary is simple, if your pronunciation is clear, people will understand you and respect you. So the key contrast is this: chasing perfection in grammar versus focusing on clarity in speech. Which one truly serves you in real conversations? You already know the answer. Accent improvement starts with listening. Before you can produce the right sounds, you need to train your ear to hear them. Many learners don't realize that their brain filters new sounds through the system of their native language. For example, if your first language doesn't have a certain English sound, your brain will automatically replace it with the closest familiar one. That's why you might think you're saying a word correctly, but to others it sounds completely different. The first step is awareness. Start noticing the difference between how you think you sound and how English speakers actually sound. Don't just hear English. Listen deeply. Pay attention to rhythm, stress, intonation, and melody. It's not just the words, it's the music of English. Let me give you an example. Think about the simple word, photograph. In English, the stress falls on the first syllable, pho to graph. But when we change the form to photography, the stress shifts to Native speakers don't think about these rules, but learners often miss them because they don't listen closely to stress patterns. Yet these patterns are the difference between sounding natural and sounding mechanical. Accent training means training your ear first, then your mouth. Once you start listening carefully, the next step is shadowing. Shadowing is one of the most effective techniques for accent improvement, and it works like this. You listen to a short piece of audio from a native speaker, then immediately repeat it, matching the rhythm, speed, and intonation as closely as possible. Imagine you are the speaker's shadow, following them perfectly. This method trains your muscles and your brain at the same time. It's not about repeating slowly. It's about imitating naturally. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll stumble, you'll miss sounds, you'll feel behind. But with practice, your brain starts to adapt, and your accent begins to shift closer to the model. Think of it like learning to dance. You copy the moves until your body remembers them on its own. But what if you feel frustrated? What if you listen to yourself and think, "I'll never sound good"? Here's the truth: no one starts perfectly. Every great English speaker you admire has made mistakes, mispronounced words, and felt embarrassed at some point. The difference between them and those who give up is persistence. Progress in accent work doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen faster than you think if you practice consistently. Just 5 minutes of shadowing every day can produce visible improvement in a month. Imagine where you'll be in 6 months if you commit. The key is not perfection, it's consistency. Another powerful trick is recording yourself. Most learners avoid this because they don't like how they sound, but that's exactly why it's necessary. Recording yourself gives you an outside perspective. Often, what you think you're saying is very different from what others actually hear. When you play back your recording and compare it to a native model, you'll instantly spot the differences. Maybe your stress is on the wrong syllable. Maybe your vowels are too short. Maybe your tone is too flat. This awareness is gold. Once you notice the gap, you can fix it. Without recording, you're blind to your own progress. Now let's address a fear many learners carry. If I work on my accent, will I lose my identity? The answer is no. Accent improvement is not about replacing your voice. It's about refining it. Think of it like polishing a diamond. The diamond doesn't change what it is, but the shine becomes brighter. Your accent tells the world where you come from, and that's valuable. But by making it clearer, you allow the world to hear your ideas without distraction. People don't respect you less for having an accent. They respect you more when your accent doesn't block your communication. Here's a simple daily routine that can start changing your accent right away. Step 1. Choose a short piece of content you enjoy in English, maybe a podcast, a speech, or even a short video. Step 2, listen actively and write down a few sentences. Step 3, practice shadowing those sentences until you can match the rhythm and intonation. Step 4, record yourself, compare, and adjust. Just 15 minutes a day is enough to build momentum. Don't aim to fix everything at once. Focus on small improvements. Maybe today you work on one sound, tomorrow on stress, next week on rhythm. Over time, these small wins add up to a big transformation. Let's be honest, improving your accent takes courage. It means hearing your mistakes, facing your fears, and stepping outside your comfort zone. But every time you push yourself, you're one step closer to the confident communicator you want to be. Remember, your accent doesn't define your intelligence, your talent, or your worth. It's simply a skill you can develop, like writing, cooking, or playing an instrument. And the best part, every improvement is visible, measurable, and empowering. So, as we begin this journey together, I want you to hold one belief closely. Your accent is not a barrier, it's a bridge. It connects you to people, opportunities, and a bigger world. And starting today, you have the power to make that bridge stronger, clearer, and more effective than ever. This is not just about learning English. It's about transforming the way you express yourself in life. And I promise you, with the right focus and daily practice, you will not just improve your accent. You will change the way people see you, hear you, and respond to you. Think about the people you admire when they speak English. Maybe it's a famous actor, a motivational speaker, or a YouTuber you follow. Notice how it's not just their vocabulary that impresses you. It's the way they use their voice, the rise and fall of their tone, the confidence in their rhythm, the clarity in their sounds. They may even use very simple words, but because their delivery is smooth and engaging, you listen closely and you remember what they said. That is the power of accent combined with intonation, and it's something you can absolutely learn. One of the most useful tricks for improving your accent is mastering stress and intonation. English is a stress, timed language, which means some syllables are stressed while others are reduced. For example, listen to the phrase, "I want to go to the store." A native speaker doesn't pronounce every word equally. It sounds more like, "I want to go to the store." Stress falls on want and store, while other sounds are softer or faster. Many learners try to pronounce each word perfectly, but that makes their speech sound robotic and unnatural. By practicing stress patterns, you immediately sound more fluent, even if your grammar or vocabulary is simple. Here's an exercise. Take a sentence you already know well, like, "I need to finish my homework." Read it once slowly, word by word. Then listen to how a native speaker says it. "I need to finish my homework." Notice the difference in rhythm. Now practice copying that natural flow. This simple shift makes your English sound less like a textbook and more like real conversation. Accent improvement isn't only about individual sounds. It's about the music of the language, the rhythm that carries your message. Another tip that changes everything is focusing on vowel sounds. Many learners underestimate vowels because they seem simple, but in English, vowels carry most of the meaning. Mispronounce a vowel, and suddenly the word changes completely. For example, Say ship instead of sheep, or beach instead of bitch. You can see how dangerous tiny vowel mistakes can be. English has around 20 vowel sounds, much more than many other languages, and training your ear to hear them clearly will transform your accent. Start by practicing minimal pairs. Words that differ by only one sound, like bit and beat, full and fool. Record yourself, compare, and repeat until you can hear and produce the difference. This one habit will sharpen your pronunciation faster than memorizing any grammar rule. But what about consonants? Yes, they matter too, especially sounds that don't exist in your native language. The English th sound, for example, is a nightmare for many learners. They replace it with S, Z, or T, so think becomes sink or tink. The trick is to train your tongue placement. Put your tongue gently between your teeth and blow air out for the soft theech, see as in, think. For the harder th, see as in, this. Add vibration to your vocal cords. At first it feels strange, but once you master it, your speech instantly becomes more accurate. And when you get one of those difficult sounds right, your confidence skyrockets. Let's talk about immersion. One of the most effective ways to improve your accent is to surround yourself with English daily. Not just reading or studying, but listening to real voices in different accents over and over again. Think of your brain as a sponge. The more it absorbs authentic English, the more it naturally adapts. Watch movies or TV shows with subtitles, listen to podcasts while commuting, play English music while cooking. But don't just let it play in the background. Engage with it. Repeat lines, mimic the actors, sing along to songs. Make English part of your lifestyle, not just your study time. And here's a truth many learners ignore: confidence matters more than perfection. People will forgive your accent if you speak with clarity and confidence. But even a perfect accent can fail if spoken with hesitation or fear. Communication is 20% sound and 80% confidence. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone speak with a strong accent, yet they were so confident that you had no problem understanding them? Confidence amplifies your message, while fear hides it. That's why practicing body language together with accent training is so powerful. When you stand tall, use hand gestures, and project your voice, your accent automatically sounds clearer because your whole body supports your speech. Now let's do a quick mindset shift. Many learners believe they need to get rid of their accent. That belief creates frustration because it's impossible and unnecessary. You don't need to erase your accent. You just need to make it understandable and pleasant to listen to. Think of it this way. When a French or Italian speaker talks in English, we often find their accent charming, even attractive. The same is true for your accent. What people care about is clarity and connection, not perfection. So instead of aiming for a native accent, aim for a global English accent. Clear, confident, and flexible enough to be understood anywhere in the world. Another advanced tip is to expose yourself to different varieties of English. Don't only listen to American English or British English. Try Australian, Canadian, Indian, even African accents. Why? Because the world speaks English in many different ways, and the more accents you hear, the more adaptable your ear becomes. This makes your listening stronger, your speaking more flexible, and your confidence unshakable. If you can understand different accents, your brain develops a wider range of pronunciation models, which improves your own accent naturally. Here's a practical daily routine you can start using immediately. Begin with 5 minutes of listening practice. Choose a short audio clip and play it 2 or 3 times, focusing on stress, rhythm, and intonation. Then spend 10 minutes shadowing that same clip, repeating line by line. Next, record yourself for 5 minutes speaking freely about your day. Finally, play back your recording and note one thing you can improve tomorrow. That's just 20 minutes a day, but if you do it consistently, your accent will change dramatically in a few weeks. Remember, short, focused practice every day beats long, exhausting sessions once a week. Let me tell you a story. A student of mine named Maria used to avoid speaking in English at work. She was a brilliant engineer, but her strong accent made her colleagues ask her to repeat herself often. She felt embarrassed and started staying silent in meetings, even when she had valuable ideas. After just 2 months of daily accent training, listening, shadowing, and recording, her confidence grew. She didn't lose her Spanish accent completely, but her speech became clear and confident. One day, her manager told her, "Your presentations are much easier to follow now. Keep it up." That moment changed her career. She started leading more projects and eventually got promoted. Maria's story proves that accent work isn't about perfection. It's about unlocking opportunities. Now, let's contrast 2 learners. Learner A focuses only on grammar and vocabulary. They know all the tenses, they memorize thousands of words, but when they speak, their accent makes communication difficult. Learner B focuses on clarity, rhythm, and confidence. They may not know as many words, but they pronounce what they do know clearly, and people understand them easily. Who do you think gets better results in real life? Obviously, Learner B. This is the difference between studying English as a subject and practicing English as a skill. Accent improvement is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice, not theory. Finally, let's talk about patience. Accent training is not about overnight miracles. Yes, you can see progress in a week, but mastery takes months of consistent work. The good news is, every step feels rewarding. The first time someone says, "Wow, your English is clear," you'll feel proud. The first time you speak in a meeting without fear, you'll feel powerful. The first time you have a full conversation and forget you're even speaking a second language, you'll feel free. Those small victories build momentum, and momentum builds mastery. So instead of focusing on how far you still have to go, celebrate how far you've already come. Every word you pronounce more clearly, every sentence you deliver more confidently, is a victory worth recognizing. Accent improvement isn't just about sound. It's about transformation. It transforms your confidence, your relationships, your opportunities, and your future. And the best part, you already have everything you need: your ears, your voice, your determination. All that's left is to practice consistently and joyfully. Remember, fluency is communication, not perfection. Accent is clarity, not imitation. And your journey is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the clearest, most confident version of yourself. So far, we've talked about why accent matters, how to shift your mindset, and which practical techniques can transform the way you sound. But now it's time to bring everything together into a clear roadmap. Think of this as your personal action plan, a series of steps that, if followed consistently, will not only improve your accent, but also make English an effortless part of your daily life. Step 1 is awareness. Every journey starts with knowing where you are now. You cannot improve what you don't measure. So the very first thing to do is record yourself speaking. Don't just say random words. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes about your day, your hobbies, or your goals. Then listen carefully. Ask yourself, are my vowel sounds clear? Am I stressing the right syllables? Is my speech too fast or too flat? Awareness may feel uncomfortable at first. You'll probably hear mistakes you never noticed before. But this is the foundation. Once you know your weaknesses, you can target them directly instead of wasting time on things you already do well. Step 2 is imitation. Children learn to speak by copying the adults around them, and you can use the same method. Choose a model voice, maybe a TED Talk speaker, a favorite actor, or even a YouTuber you admire. Study their speech. Notice their rhythm, their intonation, their pauses. Then imitate them as closely as possible. Don't just copy the words. Copy the music of their voice. Read their transcript aloud while listening. Repeat sentences until you feel the same flow in your own mouth. Imitation is not about becoming someone else. It's about training your brain and tongue to recognize and reproduce natural English patterns. Step 3 is shadowing, which we already discussed, but let's expand on it. Shadowing works best with short, repeatable content. Pick a 1-minute audio clip, play it, pause after each sentence, and repeat immediately. Focus not only on the sounds, but also on the energy. Match their speed, their emotion, their rise and fall. Then try shadowing without pausing. Play the whole clip and speak at the same time, like you're the speaker's echo. It feels intense, almost like a workout. But that's why it's powerful. In just a few weeks, shadowing can reshape your accent dramatically because it forces your brain and mouth to work in sync. Step 4 is correction. Here's where recording yourself becomes your best friend again. After shadowing or free speaking, record your voice. Then listen side by side with the native version. Where are you different? Maybe your stress is too flat. Maybe your vowel is too short. Maybe your R sound is too strong. Write down one mistake and focus on fixing it tomorrow. Don't try to fix everything at once. Improvement is like climbing stairs, one step at a time, but each step takes you higher. Step 5 is integration. Accent practice doesn't work if it stays separate from real life. You must integrate it into your daily routine. Talk to yourself in English as you cook, walk, or exercise. Narrate your actions out loud. I'm opening the fridge. I'm cutting the vegetables. I'm washing the dishes. It sounds silly, but it builds fluency and confidence. When you integrate English into daily life, practice stops feeling like homework and starts feeling natural. The more natural it feels, the more consistent you'll be. Now let's address a powerful, but often ignored tool: visualization. Elite athletes use visualization to improve performance, and language learners can do the same. Before speaking in English, close your eyes and imagine yourself speaking clearly. Picture yourself in a meeting, answering confidently. See the smiles and nods of people who understand you easily. Imagine yourself giving a presentation, your accent clear, your rhythm strong. Visualization primes your brain for success, reducing fear and increasing confidence. When you visualize daily, you train your mind to expect clarity, and your body follows. Another advanced technique is to focus on linking. In English, words are often connected together in speech, not separated clearly. For example, what do you want to eat? Becomes, what do I want to eat? Learners who pronounce every word separately sound unnatural. Practicing linking makes your accent smoother and more fluent. Try repeating phrases like, gonna go, wanna be, lot of people. Once you master linking, you'll notice your English starts to flow like water instead of sounding choppy. But maybe you're wondering, how long will it take? How many weeks or months until my accent improves? The answer depends on you. If you practice 5 minutes a day, you'll see small changes. If you practice 20 minutes a day, you'll see big changes. If you immerse yourself, listening, shadowing, recording, and speaking daily, you'll see transformation in a few months. The real secret isn't the length of practice, but the consistency. Just like going to the gym, the more often you show up, the stronger you become. And even on days you don't feel like it, showing up for just a few minutes keeps the habit alive. Consistency beats intensity. Let's talk about fear. Fear is the biggest obstacle to accent improvement. Fear of sounding funny, fear of making mistakes, fear of people laughing at you. But here's the truth: mistakes are the very thing that will improve your accent. Every time you make a mistake, you discover something new to fix. Every correction brings you closer to clarity. So instead of avoiding mistakes, celebrate them. Say to yourself, good, I found something to improve. This shift turns fear into motivation. Remember, the best speakers are the ones who have made the most mistakes, not the least. Now imagine the long-term picture. A year from now, you walk into that same room I described at the start. You introduce yourself in English, and your words flow smoothly. Your accent is clear, your rhythm natural, your confidence unshakable. People don't just understand you, they enjoy listening to you. You join conversations without hesitation, you give presentations without fear, you travel without anxiety. And the best part, you didn't need to erase your accent. You just refined it, made it sharper, clearer, and stronger. You didn't become someone else. You became the best version of yourself. So let me give you one final challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to this routine. Day 1, record yourself speaking for 1 minute and identify one area to improve. Day 2, choose a short audio clip and shadow it for 10 minutes. Day 3, focus on one vowel pair, like ship and sheep, and practice until you hear the difference. Day 4, practice linking phrases for 10 minutes, like gonna go and wanna be. Day 5, watch a video in a new English accent, maybe Australian or British, and try to imitate the rhythm. Day 6, record yourself again, compare with day 1, and notice the improvement. Day 7, speak freely for 5 minutes about your week, focusing on clarity and confidence. At the end of just 1 week, you'll already feel the difference. Your voice will be clearer, your ear sharper, your confidence stronger. And when you stack weeks on top of weeks, the results multiply. Accent improvement isn't about magic. It's about method. And now you have the method. Remember this, your accent is not a barrier. It's a bridge. And every time you practice, you're making that bridge stronger. Strong enough to connect you to new people, new opportunities, and a new version of yourself. The world is waiting to hear your ideas, your stories, your voice. Don't let unclear pronunciation hold you back. Take action today, and every day, until your accent becomes not just understandable, but unforgettable. Because in the end, improving your accent isn't about sounding perfect. It's about sounding like you. Clear, confident, and ready to share your voice with the world. And that, my friend, is the most useful trick of all.